What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new, we just go over trades, basically just my approach to trading. Actually, before we even start, I just want to make it very clear. I'm by no means no professional. I'm just some guy that likes trading. I've been doing this for quite a while, and just it's just a hobby of mine. I really like it. I want to go full time with this, but this is I just like doing this. All right. So getting that out the way. On the 4th of June, right here, I actually sent it out to the Discord. Oh, this is actually GPP CHF. Right here, NZD CHF. Where basically I said NZD CHF bullish moves coming back to retest this area of interest. I was anticipating some bullish moves off of this area of interest. We have that 50 MA coming right underneath price. This is a weekly time frame, so we have support, resistance, broke above, come back to act as potential support. And so this was the 4th of June, right here. The 7th of June, it finally came down to that area of interest. We're starting to retest that 50 MA, but there's still no entry. The 10th of June, all right, new week. We're at that area of interest. Price is starting to move up, but yet there's still no entry. And then on the 12th of June, we finally got in and we closed out for about a 1 to 3. We closed out about right here, or actually I think it was a little bit more. This is on the 4 hour, and that was it. Now, the whole reason for this trade is very simple. The higher time frames, such as the weekly, were indicating that, hey, look, we've created a higher high, higher low. This area of previous support and resistance finally broke above, and now there's that potential move to come back down to this area of interest to act as support. Again, we don't know for sure. We don't know. Like, I want to make it really clear that when I'm trading, I never know 100%. There is no such thing as me knowing 100%. I use pattern recognition to really take the trades. Every time I see this type of setup, every time I see, hey, this is an area where previously there has been support, resistance, more than likely price might come into this area, and then we might start seeing a push back to the upside. Now, does that happen every single time? Absolutely not. But when it does happen, I happen to be in those trades. So this is the type of trading that I do. Now, with that being said, I'm not winning every single trade, but I'm also not losing every single trade. My winners outweigh my losers. And I mean, since I'm more of a swing trader, I'm focusing on the daily and weekly just simply because it's easier for me. It's so much easier. It's so much cleaner. I'm not taking that many trades a month. If anything, I probably take 10 trades a month, and that's like kind of pushing it. Maybe eight would be a good number, but I'm not taking that many trades. So going back to the daily time frame, we actually see that, hey, look, we have that 50 MA coming right underneath this area of interest. Not only that, but we also have this kind of shift back down to the area of interest, that weekly area of interest. Now, there might be some of you that are saying, hey, look, clearly this is a downtrend, right? We've broken below this previous higher low, and that's absolutely right. The only difference is, if I'm so focused on just this trend right here, I'm not really going to be able to prioritize those money moves. Now, I'm not saying that you can't make money on the downtrend. You 100% you can. But I just don't trade that. I don't trade this counter trend back to this area of interest. It's just not my style. Maybe in the future, maybe I could start implementing it a little bit more, start maximizing my profit gain. But for now, I'm just focusing on just following the overall higher trend. So price finally tapped into this area of interest. And then on this day, which was the 10th of June, that's the one that I actually sent out in the Telegram. This is where I start going down to the smaller time frames. In the smaller time frames, you could start seeing that shift of structure. Whatever video you watch of mine, I'm always talking about the shift of structure, the shift of structure. And I think I've made a video talking about the shift of structure. If not, well, I'll explain it to you right here, right now. So basically, right here, what do we have? We have a set of lower lows, lower highs. This is just kind of movement inside that trend right here. Until it breaks either this lower high or this lower low, I don't really care about what's happening right here. Eventually, we do break this lower low, and right here, this lower low, and then we start trending to the upwards direction. Now, I know I just said that, hey, I'm not waiting. I'm waiting until we break these lower lows, lower highs, and potential lower high, lower low. This is where I start going down to the smaller time frames. I go down to the 1 hour. The 1 hour is actually where I took the trade. So right here, we have a lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, a potential higher high. I'll count this one as a higher high, not here, right here. And then a higher low. Why is that a higher low? Simply because we were able to break above this previous lower high. Now again, this is on the 1 hour time frame. So we just saw that on the 4 hour, it's not the same. If anything, on the 4 hour, we could argue that, hey, look, we're kind of still bearish. We're kind of still bearish on that 4 hour. And I mean, that's not wrong either. Why? Because I mean, price could still come up here somewhere in the middle and then start pushing back down, right? But what do we have? We have that higher time frame confluence. We have the weekly, the daily, that's signifying, hey, look, right here, this gray box is an area of interest. It's an area of interest where we could start seeing that shift of structure back to the upside. So I'm just waiting for those smaller time frames to give me indications and clues as to, hey, when can we start taking this trade back to the upside? So that's exactly what happened. Higher high, higher low, and then we have a higher high. Let me erase this one so I can redo it. We have a higher high, potential higher low right here, movement, higher high, higher low, and then higher high. Now, I know some of you might be asking, Damien, why didn't you take the trade right here? And why'd you take the trade right here? So, simply, what time was this? This was 5 p.m. This was an hour after New York close. I'm from New York. Session closes at 4 p.m. So I'm not really trying to trade right after New York close. The spread, there's not that much volume in there. It's just not part of my trading plan to trade during after closing hours, at least for like a couple hours at least. So right here, it was simple answer. I was like, look, if we are moving to the upside, then all I'm gonna wait for is a higher low, a higher high, and we could probably take that entry on the higher high with that bullish engulfing candle, which happened exactly like that. We have that 50 MA coming right underneath price, and then what do we have? We have that bullish engulfing, and look at what time it is. It's 7 a.m. This is at 7 a.m. Where I'm from, New York session opens at 7 a.m. exactly at 7 a.m. So that's telling me, hey, look, New York just opened. We had a very strong bullish engulfing candle. We have that 50 MA coming underneath price. Price is moving away from this daily and weekly area of interest. It's a good sign for me to start taking my trade. Let me enter on my trade. So I entered on the trade. My stop loss was below this low, and my TP, my overall TP was actually a 1 to 9. I know you're probably like, damn, 1 to 9, that's pretty big. Yeah, 9.36. Now the overall idea on this trade was on the daily time frame. The daily time frame, I was, telling myself, look, if we are bouncing off of this area of interest, we might see some movement, but we could ride the wave and break these highs. Why not target these highs? Now, when I was telling myself that, I was kind of in the mindset of, look, I could really maximize my profit, and then greed started coming into my mind. And I started acting like, well, if I risk 3% on this trade, I could make so much more. If I risk 5%, I could make so much more. And that's when I knew I'm not going I'm not gonna let it ride all the way to a 1 to 9. The simple reason is because I knew that I started getting a little bit greedy. And when, there's this thing that Warren Buffett said, uh, when people are greedy, be fearful. And when people are fearful, be greedy. And I was being really, really greedy. So that's when I realized I'm not gonna do that, and I'm gonna stick to my plan. Let's go back to the daily time frame and let's look at the next possible area where I could at least take my profits at. So the next reasonable area of interest was this right here. We've had a very, very, very strong reaction to the upside. Price came back down. Look at these two candlesticks, two bearish candlesticks. And what happened after those two bearish candlesticks? A very, very, very strong reaction to the upside. Then what happened? A very strong reaction back down to the downside. And then we came back and retested this exact same level. So now I'm thinking, all right, every time price tapped this area right here, we've had a very strong reaction from. Maybe that would be a good area to take my profit, because more than likely, if price does come into this area, we might start seeing a reaction back down to the downside. So I set my area right here. My TP was right there. I was actually already in the trade, and that's kind of when I was deciding, should I close right here at this area of interest or should I let it ride? Eventually, I came down to the decision, you know what, I'm just going to close it right here. And it worked out to the T. It's one of those trades that, I'm really proud of, because I stuck to the plan. I was able to stick to my plan. I didn't let my emotions overcome my trading plan. And that's why I really like these types of trades, because these are the types of trades that I should be taking every single time. I'm human. I don't take these trades every single time. There's times that I let my emotions come through, and that's something that I gotta work on, quite a bit more. But I can say that I've been getting really, really better at it. I've been getting better at controlling my emotions and just sticking to the plan. And it's trades like these that make me realize that, hey, look, if I only stuck to the plan, of course there's going to be losers, but when there's winners, I could really maximize on those winners. Overall, 3.3%. Actually, it was like a little bit higher. We'll just say right there. But yeah, really maximizing those profits. And I mean, it worked out really, really well. Price came into that daily, weekly area of interest. The 1 hour started having that shift of structure back to the upside. We entered off that bullish engulfing. We have that 50 MA coming right underneath price. And the next target was at a daily area of interest where we've seen very strong reaction from. And what happened after we saw reaction from there? Price started shifting back down. It's really simple. And I know maybe you're thinking, wow, this looks really, really simple. You're just, it's trend trading. But this actually took me a while. And, I'm not ashamed to say it, but this took me a long time. I was never the smartest person in the class. I was never, this wizard in math or whatever. If anything, I was more of like a C student in high school. But this is the one thing I really, really like. I like getting better at trading. I want to get better at trading. This is really interesting to me, and I really love this. So if you feel the same way, I highly suggest you join the Discord or join the Telegram. I send out a completely free analysis. Uh, Again, they're not signals, simply because I don't want to just give you guys, hey, enter here, enter here, enter here. I want to give you the analysis, and then if you like that analysis, take it, put in your chart, and make your own analyzation, and say, okay, you know what? I want to enter here. I want to enter there. I never send out enter here, exit here, all that. If you wanted to keep writing it, you could. If you wanted to exit down here, you could. If you wanted to exit where I exit, you could. I mean, if you want to join right here. I'll put a link in the description, and I'll also put a link to my Instagram as well. I do have a Discord. I actually want to give out a shout out to right here. 3,123. Great trader. He's in the Discord. We actually don't even trade. We don't have the same strategy at all. But he takes some of the support and resistance that I use and many other traders on YouTube, and he applies it to his own trading style with his own trading approach. And that's kind of what I like about, trading, is that you don't have to have a specific trading plan. You don't have It doesn't have to be so specific to someone else. Find what works really well for you, and tweak it, try to get better at it, try to maximize your profit, try to minimize your losers, and you could really go far with trading. But again, this is my trading approach. Simple. Price broke above this area of interest, came down, retested, we entered right here on the smaller time frames, and we rode it up to this daily area of interest, and we closed out for a 1 to 3. It's really simple. But as maybe for a beginner, it might not be that simple. But I'm telling you, within time, you will get better. Trading is teachable. There's so many people out there that say it's not, and you have to be the select few. But I really believe if this is something that you want to do with your life, and that sounds really big, but if this is something you want to do with your life, and you put in the time, you can really get better at this. Well, with that being said, I don't want to take too much of your time. That's pretty much the entire process of my trading approach. And yeah, I'll see you on the next video, whatever video idea I have. If you have any ideas, leave them in the comments. And yeah, thank you for watching.